Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Mangoes are one of my favorite summertime fruits. So today I'm going to show you how to use ripe mangoes to prepare these delicious empanadas. First we're going to prepare the dough for the empanadas. Sift 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour with half a teaspoon of salt. Dice half a cup of cold butter, which is 1 stick of butter, and using your hands or a dough blender, blend until it has a grainy-like consistency. To make it easier, you can also use a food processor to prepare the dough. Then I'm going to add half of the water and we're going to mix until it's well incorporated. Add the remainder of the water a little bit at a time until it comes together. If necessary, transfer it to a clean working surface and continue kneading until you have a nice smooth ball of dough like this. Before preparing the empanadas, place it in a sealed tight container or wrap it in plastic wrap and refrigerate for at least 30 minutes before you begin to prepare the empanadas. This will give the gluten enough time to relax for better results. You can also prepare the empanada dough ahead of time and use it within 2 to 3 days. Next, we're going to move on to peeling the mangoes. When making this recipe, you want to choose mangoes that are nice and ripe. The brightness of the mango is not always an indicator of its ripeness. The green ones can also be ripe and ready to use. To determine the ripeness of the mango, simply pick up a mango and give it a light squeeze. If it gives in a little, it's ready to eat. Slice off the pulp as close as possible to the pit, then dice it into smaller pieces. For the 10 empanadas that we're making, we're going to need about 3 to 4 mangoes, which is about 3 to 4 cups of mango pulp. The amount of mangoes you use can vary depending on the size. To cook the mango, we're going to transfer the mango pulp to a small saucepan. We're going to add the juice from 1 lime, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a pinch of salt, and for sweetener you can use honey, sugar, or a sugar-free sweetener of your choice. The amount of sweetener you add can depend on how sweet the mango is. Sometimes you may not need to add any additional sweetener if your mangoes are nice and sweet. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, which is completely optional, but it does add a lot of flavor to the filling. Boil the mango over low-medium heat for about 12 to 15 minutes or until it resembles a jam-like consistency like this. Remove it from the burner and allow it to cool down completely before preparing the empanadas. Typically, you will want the dough to rest for at least 30 minutes. I left mine resting overnight in the refrigerator, and as you can see, it does seem a little bit hard. But once it's out of the refrigerator and you separate it, it does become a lot more manageable. Next, we're going to separate the dough into 10 equal size rounds. When putting together the empanadas, you have 3 different options. I personally prefer rolling each one into a 5-inch round. Keep in mind that it doesn't have to be in a perfect circle, because once it reaches the size that you need, use your fingertips to shape it into a perfect circle. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of the filling right in the middle. Make sure not to add too much, otherwise it's going to make it harder to seal. Before folding over the pastry, add a little bit of water or egg wash around the edges to help seal the empanada. The egg wash and the water will also keep it from breaking open when it bakes. Seal the edges by pressing down with your fingers. Then pinch them closed using a fork or fold it over using your fingers. Or to make it easier, you can use one of those fancy empanada press. They come in a variety of sizes so you can prepare small or big empanadas. Or separate the dough into 2 large pieces, roll it out into a big shape like this, and cut out the shapes using a bowl or a plate. Place the empanadas on a cookie sheet and continue with the rest of the empanadas until you run out of the pastry or the filling. For best results and to keep them from breaking open, refrigerate the unbaked empanadas for 30 minutes before brushing them with the egg wash. Using a basting brush, brush each one of the empanadas with the egg wash, making sure to get all those nooks and crannies. Now the egg wash is only necessary if you decide to bake them. Once you're done brushing them with the egg wash, bake them at 375 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes or until they're nice and golden. Now empanadas are also delicious when you fry them. How you decide to prepare them is completely up to you depending on your preference and your needs. Enjoy these delicious fried empanadas while they're still warm and sprinkle with a little bit of powdered sugar. I personally prefer the baked empanadas, but you can decide which one you prefer best by trying this delicious recipe in your home. And if you do try it, let us know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this delicious recipe, leave me a like or leave a comment so we can continue to share more recipes like this one. And so you don't miss out on future recipes, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can receive a notification each time we upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching and make sure to join us in our next video for another delicious recipe.